Hello, welcome to your makeup lesson today. We are going to be talking about recognizing cause and effect when we read. So make sure that you have printed the assignment that is attached to this recording. You will need it during the lesson. So if you need to go print that, go ahead and press pause and then come back. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Our objective today, or what we hope to learn, is we want to identify cause and effect clue words and key points. So we're going to find out about some clue words that will help us find cause and effect in what we read. So when we want to recognize cause and effect, we need to know that why something happens is the cause. What happens is the effect. So the cause always leads to the effect, or makes the effect happen. So we use this graphic organizer. The cause would go in this box, and then the arrow leads to the effect, because the cause is why it happens, or the reason, and the effect is what happens because of the cause. So here are some key points to remember. These might be review for you. But remember, to find an effect, you need to ask what. Look for something that exists or happens, or something that is done, felt, or said. The effect is what happens. But the cause is why it happens. So to find the cause, you need to ask yourself why. Look for reasons why something exists or happens, or the reason why something is done, felt, or said. The cause makes the effect happen. So if you are soaking wet, that is the effect. The cause, you would have to ask yourself why. Maybe you went out in the rain. That's the cause. The effect is you're wet. Well, there's something that will help us, and that is our clue words. Clue words can signal a cause. They include because, which I can see the word cause in, since, reason, and if. So keep your eyes peeled for those words today. When you see one, you know a cause is coming. But we also have clue words that signal an effect is coming. These include so and as a result. But sometimes there's no clue word and you have to think about it. You can still figure out the cause and effect. What happened is still the effect, and why it happened is the cause. So here's an example. As you read, look for what happens and why. What happens is the effect. Why it happens is the cause. Look for clue words that signal a cause or an effect. So I'd like you to read this paragraph with me. It's a paragraph from a passage. We're going to read it and watch for clue words and cause and effect. Here we go. Arctic hares live very far north. During the year, their fur changes color. In the winter, Arctic hares turn white. They look like the snow. The Arctic hares are snow white, so their enemies can't easily see them. Can you picture how this works? All right, take a look right down here at the bottom. This will help us to understand what we found. The cause in the paragraph above is that the Arctic hares are snow white. The effect is that their enemies can't easily see them. And you might have noticed a clue word. The clue word that signals the effect is so. So in class, you might know that we circle the clue word. We underline the cause once, and we underline the effect twice. So that clue word would help us figure out that the effect is coming. So is a clue word that signals an effect. Think about what happened first. or the cause. This, the Arctic hares are snow white, is the cause for why the enemies can't easily see them. They're hard to see. So we have our cause and we have our effect. We're going to try this now in a story called What Makes a Toothache? Which is actually not so much a story, but more like an article on how a toothache happens, why, what leads up to it. So it's a true passage about really why we get toothaches. Hopefully you haven't had a toothache before because they're so painful. But we're going to read the story. This is the one that you printed. And we're also going to watch for clue words while we read. Okay, so as a reminder, here are some clue words you might see for cause and effect. If, because, reason, since, so, and cause. So as we read, watch for those. What makes a toothache? Okay, read with me. A tooth can start to ache if the hard enamel covering the tooth is broken down. The enamel is broken down by caries. Caries is a disease that forms holes, known as cavities, in the enamel. It is caused by a bacteria. Did you see a clue word? You might have seen this word, caused. It has a D on the end, but it's a form of cause. So we know that the cause comes right after that word. So bacteria will be our cause. And what does bacteria cause? Caries, the disease. This one was kind of hard. We had to look back a little ways. But we saw the word cause, so we know we had a reason. Bacteria. What does bacteria cause? If we go back a little ways, we can find out that it causes a disease that forms cavities in the enamel. Very good. All right, let's keep going. Caries usually begins in the grooves of molars in between the teeth and around the gums. These are all areas where food particles can get caught. Bacteria is always present in the mouth, and it feeds on these tiny food particles. As they feed, they produce acids that work to slowly break down the enamel of teeth and create cavities. If the cavity is not caught early enough, it can lead to a toothache, and in some cases, it can lead to an infection. Did you see any clue words on this page? You might have seen the word if, which means a cause is coming next, and we're going to talk more about that one later. Let's finish up our passage. Ready? The best way to avoid cavities and the toothaches that come with them is to brush your teeth twice a day and floss regularly. Be sure to pay attention to your dentist as she demonstrates how to brush your teeth and floss correctly. Hopefully, if you listen to your dentist and follow her directions, you won't ever have to experience the pain of a toothache. All right, so here's a sentence from that passage. If the cavity is not caught early, it can lead to a toothache. And we found a clue word here at the beginning, which means we know a cause is coming next. Take a look at that sentence and think about the effect. Remember, the cause is why something happens, and the effect is what happens because of it. All right, if you said the cause is, if the cavity is not caught early, you are right. And if you said the effect is, it can lead to a toothache, you are right. So if we wanted to use this graphic organizer to help us see the cause and effect, we would put the cause in this box. If that's the cause, the cavity is not caught early. And what's the effect? It can lead to a toothache. So remember, this is why you could get a toothache if your cavity is not caught early. And the effect of not catching. Remember, the cause is why something happens and the effect is what happens. Clue words may signal a cause or an effect. All right, so you're going to see this right under the toothache passage. And it says, put the events that cause a toothache in sequential order. Write first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So you're going to read these things, and you can look back at your story, at your passage on your page to remember, okay? But if you look carefully, what's the thing that happens first? Go ahead and pause if you need more time. What would be the first thing to happen? If you said food particles become stuck between teeth, you are right. That is the first thing that happens. And this is the cause for the next thing. So this is kind of a series of cause and effect. So I want you to list these in order, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, and you're going to do that on your own. So your next steps are, I would like you to complete your cause and effect assignment. You'll go ahead and finish numbering those events in order. You're going to continue numbering those events in the order that they happen. And then you'll answer the remaining question on the page. And then you'll go ahead and turn in your assignment to your reading intervention teacher so you receive credit for this assignment. Thank you so much.